In a previous video, I went through how Home Assistant knows whether my family is home, but in that video, I didn't cover how to set up any of the presence detection integrations. So in this video, we're going to cover how to set up the 4 integrations that I use for presence detection. And we're going to talk about one other integration that I think has some potential for some cool presence detection automation. So stick around because we're about to automate some boring stuff. What's up everyone? Welcome to Slacker Labs. If this is your first time here, my name is Jeff, and here at Slacker Labs we look for ways to automate the boring stuff using Home Assistant. If you want Home Assistant to know whether you're home or not, you're going to need at least one presence detection integration. Which one you choose depends a lot on your use case. Does Home Assistant need to know which room your family is in, or does it just need to know someone is home? Or do you need to go further and have Home Assistant track your location anywhere on Earth? Home Assistant ships with quite a few presence detection integrations out of the box. In fact, at the time of this video, there were 69 different integrations that handle just presence detection. So finding an option that fits your use case should be pretty easy. And like all things in the Home Assistant universe, you get to choose who handles your location data. Do you use a cloud service like Life360 or Apple iCloud? Or do you keep everything local and use something like OwnTracks or even your local network router to track your presence? If you didn't catch my previous video, the 4 integrations that I use in my presence detection are the Home Assistant iOS app, Life360, Apple iCloud, and Waze. And those are the 4 integrations that I'm going to focus on setting up in this video. First up is the Home Assistant mobile app. This is probably the easiest to install because if you're already using the Home Assistant mobile app on your device, you already have the device tracker set up. Now, I can't speak for the Android version, which I believe just got a major update that brings it closer in feature parity to the iOS version. So, if there are any Android users watching and I get anything wrong or there's major differences between the iOS version and the Android version, leave a comment and let us know. If you haven't already installed this app, all you have to do is go to the App Store and look for the Home Assistant Companion app. Download it, and once it's on your device, fire it up. Since I'm on my local network, it sees my local instance and I can just choose it at this stage. But if you want to track your location outside of your network, you're going to need to use your external IP address or the DNS name for your Home Assistant instance. If you're using Nabu Casa, you can also use that remote URL. Then once you log in, you'll have to enable access to your location data on your mobile device. I also enable access to the motion sensors because that provides a little extra data that I can use in automations and sensors. Once you've approved the access, you click continue and watch the magic happen. And with that, we have a device tracker. If you open Home Assistant and head over to the Configuration and then Integration panel, you should see a mobile app integration now. In my case, it's one device and has 15 entities. Each user that connects will add a device to this integration. So let's flip over to the developer tools and look at what attributes we get with this integration. The state is home, of course, but you can see that you have the GPS coordinates, altitude, and even battery level. And if we go back to the device page and choose this device, you can see those 15 entities. You see we have lots of information here. Things like motion stats and even the disk space, which might be useful automation triggers. The next integration is Life360. Life360 is an app that's a lot like the old Find My Friends on the iPhone. At the time of this video, Life360 still has a free tier, which is enough for what we need it for. To install this, you just download Life360 onto your mobile device and create an account. Once you've logged in, you'll need to create a circle, which is essentially just a group of friends or family you want to track the location of. You will also need to define where your home is, which in Life360 they call these places. And I like to create my home place in Life360 so that it matches what Home Assistant has for my home zone. Once you have the app downloaded on your device and you're logged in, you're ready to add the Home Assistant integration. To add this integration, go to Integrations, click Add, and search for Life360. Enter your Life360 credentials you created when you set up the app and hit Submit. If all is good, you should see Success. Now let's see what we get over in the developer tools. As you can see, we get quite a few more attributes than the Home Assistant app. Things like whether the battery is charging, whether the device is moving, and the current speed in kilometers or miles per hour based on how you have your Home Assistant instance configured. I use a lot of these Life360 attributes as sensors or in automations. For example, I have a template sensor for each person in this house that takes this data along with their location and determines whether they're moving, stationary, or at one of the local zones. and if it can't find any of that, it just says they're lost. So beyond the use case of knowing whether someone is home or not, you could also use this information in sensors and automations to enhance what Home Assistant knows about each person in your house. The next integration is Apple iCloud. To set this one up, all you have to do is pay a small fee to Apple, which, of course, buy an iPhone. The Apple iCloud integration simply uses your Apple iCloud login. However, for this integration, I created an Apple iCloud account for my house and added it to my family. I may have even had everybody share their location with that account. I can't remember, it's been a long time. If you want to use this integration, I suggest doing the same. This integration generates an email every time it logs into your iCloud account, which can get annoying. Plus, this separates the integration's login from your personal account. Once Apple has your loyalty fee and you have your iCloud account set up on a device, it's time to add the integration in Home Assistant. In the official documentation, there's a few things I want to point out real quick. The integration can handle two-step authentication, and you get access to an iCloud.update service that allows you to request an update. This can be handy if you want to force an update of location. There are also some other services that might be useful that you could leverage, so be sure you check those out. Now, let's integrate. Once again, we'll have to head over to our integrations panel and click the little add button. Search for Apple iCloud, and then we'll use our iCloud login. Be sure to click the box next to With Family, since this one integration will also pull in anyone else in your family or that you are sharing your location with into Home Assistant. As you can see, we grabbed a handful of devices, and we'll click Finish. We can flip over to Developer Tools to see all of that beautiful data. The state is home, of course, and the attributes are a lot like Life 360. Battery, whether low power mode is on, and whether the device is online. Lots of potential triggers and conditions here. The next integration to set up is Waze. The Waze integration gets you travel time from your device to a location. Home Assistant also has a Google integration that does the same thing, but that integration has a limit on their free tier, whereas currently I don't believe the Waze one does. The Waze integration isn't one that you have to install. It comes by default. You just have to configure it. In my video on my presence detection setup, I mentioned Waze, but I didn't cover how I use it. And the truth is, I use it more to determine how far someone is from the house than whether they're home or not. To set up Waze, you're going to need to add some code to your sensors.yaml file. If you don't have a sensors.yaml file, just add one. First, make sure that you add a directive to your configuration.yaml to include sensors. It looks like this. Then, if you're using the File Editor add-on, just go to New File, type in sensors.yaml, and hit OK. Then open your sensors.yaml file and add the following lines. The platform is going to be Waze_travel_time. Name can be anything. Here I have Jeff ETT, or estimated time to home. The origin should always be the device tracker you want to use. Destination would be the zone or other location-based entity you want to track the distance to. And region should, of course, be your region. Flip over to the server controls in the configuration menu and restart the server. When Home Assistant is back up, let's check what we have. On restart, the state for this sensor will be unknown. You can wait for the integration to refresh, which could take a few minutes, or you could force an update by heading to Developer Tools, choosing the Update Entity service, selecting your Waze sensor, and pressing Call Service. Once the sensor updates, let's flip back over to States and check out what we have. The state is the number of minutes you are from your destination, which again can be a useful sanity check when trying to determine if someone is home. In my experience, the more information you have to validate your presence, the better. And that covers the 4 presence detection trackers that I use. But there is one more thing. As I teased in the intro, I wanted to talk about one other integration that I think has the potential for some cool automation around presence detection, and that is the proximity integration. This is a built-in integration that allows you to create sensors that contain data like how far you are from a zone and whether you are moving towards or away, and maybe even more importantly, whether you have arrived. I'm currently testing how reliable this is, but I see this as having the potential of removing my Waze for distance as a condition and just use Waze for travel time. I could use this proximity sensor as another condition to reduce false location updates. To set it up, you will need to add a sensor to your configuration. In my setup, I have added these to my presence package, but based on the example in the docs, you could drop it right into your configuration.yaml. In my configuration, I have created 3 of these sensors. 2 of them just track individuals' location to home, and 1 that tracks multiple devices in relation to home. In that case, we can see who is nearest to the destination. You could always use that information to send a notification to the nearest person to tell them that they get to stop at the store or that they win the job of cooking dinner. Under the proximity directive or header, you need to define the name of your sensor. Under devices, list the device you want to use as your source location. And zone is the zone you want to track to. Once you've built this sensor, just restart your instance to add them. If we flip over to check what these sensors provide, you will see that mine currently shows me at home or 0 miles away from the home zone. For Kat, she's currently 25 miles away and stationary. And if we look at the sensor for both of us, you will see that I'm the nearest since, well, I'm at home. And I think that's probably enough for this video. The reality is, I probably should have broken this video up into multiple videos, but since this is technically a follow-up to a previous video, I just wanted to get it all out at one time. I do plan on doing a future video on setting up the OwnTracks app and the OwnTracks integration to Home Assistant. I previously used OwnTracks in my presence detection system, but found that Life360 was a little faster and easier on the battery. But now with the demise of If This Then That, I want to go back and test that solution again. If you like this video, give me the finger by clicking the thumbs up so I know it wasn't all bad. And consider subscribing to my channel for more home automation content. It's free, which means you don't have to give up that prized subscription to your favorite channel just to add mine. If I got something wrong or you have questions about something I said, let me know in the comments or hit me up on Twitter at TheJeffreyStone. And as always, thanks for taking time out of your home automation projects to watch mine. Until next time, automate the boring stuff.